We were lucky enough to get some one-on-one time with AMA Superbike champ Josh Herrin. He talks about his championship Superbike season, his move to Moto 2, and the race series that he and his family run down south. Take a look.
I'm Josh Herrin. I'm the 2013 AMA Superbike champion, 23 years old. For 2014, I'll be racing in Moto 2 series for Caterham Racing. From the first season to the second season, it was a big learning curve. Biggest thing for me was probably my training. I stepped up my training a lot, and I think that was the biggest part of my success, was just being able to finish stronger at the end of the races, and probably just being on the bike for another year, just getting knowledge of the bike and the tracks that I was racing with the R1 helped a lot. Whenever I'm off the bike at home, my training program mainly consists of bicycles. I'm sponsored by Specialized, so I do a lot of road bicycling and mountain biking. Also, I have a supermoto track in Georgia that I ride at, so I do a lot of supermoto riding, mini bike riding, dirt bikes, kind of anything. Go to the gym, play basketball, pretty much anything I can do to stay active. Obviously, I like to do stuff that's more fun, so riding the bicycle and motorcycles is the most fun way of training for me, but you know, I have a lot of friends at home and my family that helps me, and get to kind of have some training partners. From the first season to the second season, I would say cycling was the biggest difference, you know, kind of coaching my body to get used to the heart rate that I was getting up to in the races. So I went home and did a lot of interval training, you know, going super hard for a minute with only a minute of rest time. I think that was maybe the biggest thing for me. I got a new trainer, his name was Greg Dorenzo, and he was very knowledgeable on you know, road race athletes, dirt bike athletes. He knows a lot about how to train them and condition their body, and I think that was the biggest difference, was just riding the bicycle a lot more. I think having, you know, another year on the bike definitely helped a lot, but for riding something for the first year, it's going to be a struggle just because it's a new bike, and unless it's something that you're familiar with. You know, the R1 was completely different than anything I rode before, just because of the power. The power was almost twice as much as the R6 was, so it was a lot for me to control, and it's not like you're still riding a motorcycle, but coming out of the corners is different, getting on the brakes is a lot different. Everything involved with the whole bike is, you have to change, so it's that was a big thing for me, and really getting a year under my belt, and then the second year was a big help because I learned how to ride the R1 compared to the R6. You know, I was riding the R1 like I was the R6, and it was really hurting me, so yeah, having another year helped a lot in that way, because I was able to kind of transform my riding style to the 1000. I think winning the AMA Championship definitely made me want to go to Europe a little bit more, because in the end of 2012 I had an offer to go. I didn't think I was ready, just because I hadn't won a championship. I hadn't proven that I could win races from the front or even lead races, you know, comfortably, and getting this extra year definitely helped my decision. I knew that I was ready and more prepared to go over there, and because whenever you go over there, you really want to make sure that you're ready and you're going to do well, because you don't want to go struggle and not get another opportunity. We had the offer before the championship happened. Caterham is a new team; they're a Formula One team. So my manager had been going to, you know, all the European rounds in MotoGP, and started talking to him, and it came up, you know, a month before the championship was decided, and I was just lucky enough to be able to sign my deal the weekend of the championship. So it was kind of like an added bonus to the championship, you know, knowing that I had wrapped up the championship and then also, you know, achieved one of my lifelong dreams, which was to go to MotoGP. I'm really excited. It's like I said, it's something I've been wanting to do since I was a little kid, and I think every racer dreams of going to GP, and it's definitely going to be a challenge, but I think I'm ready for it. There isn't a big difference. The main difference between the bikes is that this bike is, it has the brakes that were on my Superbike, it has the tires that were on my Superbike, the wheels, so there's a lot of things that are on this 600 that we weren't allowed to have before on my R6. Even though the Moto 2 bike is a race, it's made just to go race, the R6 still is very good compared to it, but having the little things that we weren't allowed to have before makes it kind of a full package. The main difference between the two classes is that the parts that are allowed, because I think that the frames that we're using are based off of kind of maybe a production bike, because they had to have somewhere to start, but they're obviously maybe built just for racing, so they don't need to be comfortable to ride or anything. So it's mainly like a 250 Grand Prix bike with a 600 motor stuffed into it. Going to the Moto 2 from the Superbike is definitely a little bit different. On the Superbike, I leaned off still a lot, but you wanted to kind of to be on the edge of the tire the least amount of time as possible. You want to stand it up and get on the fat part of the tire so you can get on the gas. Because if you're on the side, it spins a lot. On the Moto 2 bike, you can really stay on the edge for a long time. Obviously, you want to stand it up as soon as you can, but you don't have to worry about all the power, just spinning. It hooks up even when you're on the edge. So I've leaned on the 600. I've gotten my body kind of off the bike a little bit more, kind of more of the Marquez style, I guess you would say, leaning off, the elbow down. But I think it's something that you need to do to go fast on that bike. The further off you are on the bike, the harder it turns. So I think it's for me, I used to ride like that on the 600, and we've always thought I had a good riding style for Moto 2, just for GP racing in general. And so I think it's something that I have that maybe helps me out a little bit. The lean angle on the Moto 2 bike is a lot more compared to the Superbike and the R6 that I rode for some reason. It might just be that the wheels that we have on the bike are from the Superbikes, but it's on the 600, so that could be part of the reason. I'm not really sure, but I know you go through a lot more elbow sliders, that's for sure. My goal for the first season in Moto 2 is kind of high. I set my expectations high because I think that if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to succeed. And so I go into every race that I enter wanting to win. Realistically, maybe the first couple races will be a struggle for us, but even after our first test, we rode with the top 25 guys and we were already in the top 15. So it's to be on a new bike, new team, new track, and be in the top 15 already, which is scoring points, is really good. And so I'm expecting, really good results. And the team's prepared a practice bike for me to take to different tracks so I can go get some time before we race there. And so whenever we show up to most of the tracks, I'll have at least a few laps on it, just a little bit of knowledge, and I can also watch videos on MotoGP.com just to kind of learn the tracks and play video games. There's all sorts of stuff you can do nowadays to learn, and I'll be doing everything possible. So about a year and a half, 2 years ago, we took over a racing series, so me and my family run it. Because I grew up road racing from when I was a little kid, I guess I kind of went off subject. We have a supermoto track at my house, so me and my family, we built a track, and it's mainly just to give back to the sport. We wanted people to have a place to come ride and grow up racing instead of, not having anywhere to ride, only ride dirt bikes maybe. It's a place you can actually come road racing, and little kids come and adults come. So we started the series just to kind of have something fun for everybody to do around us, and now it's turned into something kind of big. We have, sometimes up to 30 bikes on a grid, and people traveling 20-hour trips just to come race, and it's a lot of fun. So it's called Middle Georgia Kart Track. We're located in Georgia, and it's just a really good family atmosphere, a lot of fun. You just go to the website, it's mgktsupermoto.com, or you can Google it, Middle Georgia Kart Track. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all that stuff. The best way to kind of keep up to date with my stuff is find me on any of the social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. It's just Josh Herrin. If you search it, it'll pop up, and I update pretty much every day and post photos, and we have a lot of fun with it, so check it out. Yeah, it's facebook.com/Caterham Moto 2.
So excited to see Josh represent the U.S. in Moto 2 for 2014. We wish him a lot of luck and success, and we know he's going to kick some serious butt. We're proud of you, Josh. Okay, don't forget to check out the rest of our coverage of the Progressive International Motorcycle Show on our YouTube channel. Lots of videos for you to check out, so make sure to subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at Cycle Sports TV. And for Cycle Sports TV, I'm Patrick Harris.